Welcome. Morning, team. Hope you guys are doing really well. Sorry, it's a big zoom close up of my head. Yeah, all right. First, I'm going to apologize. I don't think it's going to stream into the groups again for some reason. It doesn't work. I'm not 100% certain why, but I'll double check. If you can't see me for whatever reason, let me know. In the groups, please send me a message and let me know. It's got the spinning wheel of death for me at the moment, so I can't see whether I'm live in the groups or not. But you know what? Doesn't really matter. I will copy this and paste it here. And morning, Renee. How are you, sweets? Hope you're good. All right, just give me 2 seconds. And then I'll get on with it. Sorry, guys. Post there. All right, looks like I'm getting a few messages to say it's not working, which I kind of figured it wasn't, which sucks. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, let me send one more message through, and then I'm all yours, if that's cool. All right, sorry about Sweaty Betty this morning. I don't know why. All right, so yeah, just got back from CrossFit and I'm absolutely drenched. It was bloody hot today, which is pretty good. I don't mind a bit of a sweat, but yeah, definitely very, very, very warm. All right, good morning, everybody. I hope you are absolutely awesome. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure why it's not connected, Philomena. If you can jump on the link in the main page and we'll be able to jump over to my profile. Anyway, let's get moving. I don't want to waste too much time. All right. Thanks for joining me for another Q&A today. Hopefully I answer some of your questions. If I don't, as usual, please send me a DM or add a message somewhere in the chat and I will answer it on the spot if I've got time. But I would like to get through as many of these questions and answers as possible. If you are joining me from the groups, for some reason it's not working the link there, please jump over to my main profile and you'll be able to watch it from there. But hey, Levi, apart from that, I will get stuck into it. All right, and let me see. All right, cool. Where's the questions? Here we go. What's the best way to deal with constant hunger? Hey Maxi, I did a reel on this, probably coming out tonight. It's making sure you have a ton of protein, fiber, and healthy sort of snacks around the house. If you have plenty of fibrous and high protein snacks around, the chances are when you fill yourself up during the day, you're not going to get constant hunger for snacks. Second thing is, ask yourself the question, are you actually hungry or are you actually bored, which is generally what happens when most people are hungry. You probably haven't got enough water in your system, so a lot of it is to do with dehydration. So constant thirst is masking the hunger. So yeah, get some water into your system. If you can hit 4 liters a day, it really does help keep and maintain your weight. They say eat slower, but I'm not a big fan of that type of thing. I think the best thing to do is eat more frequently during the day so you are full, but smaller meals within your calorie limit. Okay, we're talking about fat loss at the moment, so what we want to do is make sure that we have enough high protein snacks in our system so we are constantly full for a very long time, drinking plenty of water, getting enough rest, and making sure we're not bored. But you got to try and avoid that just one more snack mindset. It's like a slippery slope back into the pantry, right? Number two, are energy drinks bad for me? Bit of a broad, open question. Hey, Carmen, energy drinks are not bad for you in moderation. If you rely on them more than oxygen, well, then definitely they are bad for you. They, depending on what type you get, previous ones were very much full of a lot of nasties in there that, especially the sugar content. So you can get sugar-free ones these days, which aren't too bad. Hey, Sean. For me, I don't mind an energy drink every now and then as a pick me up rather than a coffee, especially on a hot day. I don't mind the pick me up. There's a lot of caffeine in it, so for me, I enjoy them in that sort of moderation style. But if you rely on them, they can become definitely bad for you in a way. Hey, Philomena. Um, so yeah, if you rely on them again, like I said, more than oxygen, definitely. The low energy ones, the low sugar ones are better for you because you'll avoid a bit more of a crash later on because there's not so much sugar in them. I'd much rather people have coffee or tea just because it's a natural substance rather than the little nasties that they do hide in some of the energy drinks. But yeah, if you do really feel like you need one, just make sure they're in moderation and go for the low sugar version so you can always maintain that calorie deficit that you're into to try and lose some weight. So, but it's like anything. Anything is bad for you if you're in excess, right? So let's just make sure. Hey, Caroline, make sure we're in moderation, especially with those things. Is it okay to eat late at night? Okay, we had this question last night on the kickoff call, and yeah, it is. Your body doesn't have a clock. It doesn't know when you're eating. It doesn't realize it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Again, if you fit it within your daily calorie limit, then you can eat whenever you like. Caveat to that, there are some people with digestive issues that find it hard to eat past a certain time because their body's working overtime while they're sleeping, and it does affect their sleep. So if that's you and that happens, then yeah, eating past 8 o'clock might be detrimental to your health. There are studies to show that eating after 8 o'clock can affect your sleep because your body is working a little bit more overtime to digest the food. There's other studies that show if you can eat at 6 and go for a walk after, it helps quickly digest the food and you can have a better sleep. But when it comes to fat loss, your body doesn't have a clock and it doesn't know when it's eating. So, hey, Julie, it doesn't matter as long as it fits in with your daily calorie limit. Late night snacks aren't evil, but emotional eating is sneaky. Okay, I'll say that. If you feel like you like a bit of chocolate or a biscuit after 7 o'clock with the cuppa, that's cool, but make sure it fits in with your calorie limit. So if you can get to the end of the day and you've got 150 calories left, have the cookie. Like, enjoy the cookie. But just try not to eat some real heavy, greasy, kebabby foods. Like the midnight regret they call it is definitely real, especially if you had a few drinks. So yeah, if you feel bloated when you wake up and you haven't had a good sleep because you ate a high calorie meal, let's say 9 or 10 o'clock at night, then yeah, I wouldn't be doing it again. But there is no body clock. Your body doesn't know when it's eating. So just make sure it's within your calorie limit and you should be totally fine. How do I stop mindless snacking? I'll go back to what we said before. Ask yourself, am I hungry or am I just bored? That's number one. Okay, am I hungry or am I just bored? Keep the nasty snacks out of reach, out of sight, out of mind, I guess they say. Replace those snacks with something that is going to benefit you more to do with your health or your weight loss. So carrot sticks, cucumber, rice crackers, anything like that you can substitute for the nastier stuff. I say that with tongue in cheek. If you do feel like that you do need a bit of chocolate every single day, then have the chocolate. Incorporate it in with your calorie deficit. So don't think you can't have it. But mindless snacking generally means you're bored and you feel like something to do, and you go get something quick and easy, so you get that endorphin hit, and it's generally full of sugar or processed stuff. So let's go for cottage cheese with some, or hummus with some carrot sticks, or cottage cheese with some cinnamon sugar and an apple. Something like that would be better for you than going for the snacks. So if you can keep them away from you, you'll definitely probably won't eat them. But go back to asking this question: am I bored? Haven't I had enough water? Have I had enough protein and fiber? And it should negate that. What's the easiest way to eat more protein? Cool, did a reel on this yesterday. The goats to me are yogurt, Greek yogurt. You can use it in tons of stuff. Cottage cheese, you can use it in tons of stuff. protein powders. I know there's probably the protein powder Nazis out there, but that's such a versatile thing. You can bake with it. You can make it into your smoothies. You can put it into yogurt or cottage cheese and stuff like that and make fun things out of. They're the goats. Eggs, they're the goats, in my opinion, for getting more protein in during the day. Nuts, again, are very dense in calories, but a handful of those kind of can help you hit your protein target, but you're getting a lot of fats in there as well as carbohydrates. But be mindful, no one stops at 10 almonds. Everyone eats probably a handful quite easily. Cheese is good. Beef jerky, again, we got to look at cheese in terms of calories. Mozzarella cheese balls and things like that are very low in calories. They're good little snacks. Beef jerky is really good. You can get pork crackle in a bag now that you heat up in the microwave like popcorn. That's quite good for a little snack that kind of like feels like eating chips. But the best thing to do is eat, obviously, as natural protein as possible. So, fish, chicken, beef, pork, tofu, things like that. If you feel like you're lacking in it, add another 50 grams to your portion of your chicken or your protein at every meal. That will help you get more protein in during the day. So make sure you're having enough protein, enough fiber, enough carbohydrates during the day, and you should be very, very full all day around. With all the water and good food, I often have almost diarrhea. My body's purging. Is that more normal? Here's a fun one. With all the water and good food, I often have almost... I don't understand that, Vicky, but I think you're saying that you feel sick because you're full. I'll have a look at that a bit later because I'm not quite sure what you mean. What's the best exercise if I hate cardio? Lift weights. Simple as that. That's if we're talking purely fat loss or weight loss. Lifting weights is the go when it comes to helping you lose a ton of body fat and also build a pretty decent rig underneath. That's the go-to, in my opinion, when it comes to burning calories, because if you put more muscle on, you'll burn more calories during the day. So that's the go. Next thing is I would look into something that you enjoy that does incorporate a little bit of cardio, i.e. walking. Walking's great. CrossFit's great. Interval training, cool if you can do one or two of those a week. Boxing classes and stuff that are very, very good in terms of cardiovascular activities. But walking would be the go when it comes to cardio type workouts because it's low impact. It's good on the heart. It's good on the mindset. So I would be looking at something. I'd be incorporating walking every single day. But if you want it that little bit extra, I'd be going for some form of interval training. If that's the you don't like running or cycling or anything like that. How do I get better at push-ups? It's like anything in life. The more you do them, the more better you'll get. Start on your knees first. That's the best place to start. If you are of the heavier type and you are finding it hard to do a normal push-up, then start on an elevated box. So you're only doing on an elevated box, you're not putting so much stress. And then when you get to the floor, we go on our knees and then we do negative push-ups, which means you slowly lower yourself down and reset, which will strengthen your chest and your shoulders and your triceps. And then over time, you'll be able to get to floor push-ups, which is, on your toes. And then you'll be able to gradually increase from there. So it's like anything. It's like running, right? The more you run, the better you'll get at it. So the more push-ups you do every single day, the likelihood you'll get better at push-ups. Number 8, how do I know if I'm lifting the right weight? If you can do 20 reps, let's start again, sorry. If your rep count is 12 and you are lifting 12, but it feels like you could do another 5 or 6, that means the weight is too light. So we need to go to failure, which means if your rep count is 12, you need to be hitting about 10, 11, and 12, like as difficult as possible. If your face looks like you're about to deadlift a car, then it's definitely too heavy. But if you have 3 sets of 12, you want to be hitting 3 sets of 12, but they want to be difficult at 10, 11, and 12. So that's when you know you're kind of lifting the right weight. You should struggle on the last couple, but still maintain proper form. Right, that last one should be a max effort to lift up. If you're dropping weights dramatically after every set, you really need to reconsider what your starting weight is. So, yeah, how do I know if I'm lifting at the right weight? If you can get to 12 and the last two are difficult, that's the right weight for you. What's the quickest way to build muscle? The quickest way to build muscle is eat the right amount of food. Funnily enough, lift heavy enough, progressively overload every single week. Increase your protein to about 2 grams per target kilo body weight. So if you are currently 100 kilos and you want to get to 80, I'd be looking at about 160 grams of protein, 180 grams of protein per day. Probably the next one is rest. Have your rest days. Make sure that you're incorporating some form of mobility to give your body the best chance to recover and start building some serious muscle. So don't skip leg day, don't skip arm day, do all the compound lifts that you need to do. But the quickest way to build muscle is to lift weights and eat enough protein. How do I make morning workouts less miserable? I think this is a mindset issue. To make them less miserable, you've got to want to do them. Okay. Now this goes for not just morning workouts, any workouts. Why people think morning workouts make you miserable is because most people don't have enough sleep and they're getting up super early for the gym and they just feel fatigued. So you've got to set yourself up the night before. Lay out your clothes the night before, like a 5-year-old school kid, but having that in your mind that you've got your pants, your shirt, your socks and shoes lined up in the bathroom wherever you get changed in the morning. That's one job done. Next thing is I would be hydrating as soon as I woke up. I would hydrate straight away. I would have, half a litre of water, and that will get you rehydrated after, 12, 10 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep if you're lucky. Coffee's really good. That'll get you motivated to keep going in the morning. It's a legal performance enhancer, so we can definitely have those. Having a cold shower is really good to wake you up. Don't hit the snooze button. That's probably the next one. That makes you weak. That actually overrides any discipline you've got in your life. So if you have your workout as a non-negotiable and you have it in your diary and you do all the things the night before to prepare for it, chances are you will make it and it won't be miserable. If you're lucky like me and you have a wife that wakes up a little bit early and then kicks you in the back, so make sure you get out of bed, well, that's even better. How do I recover faster from workouts? Sleep like your gains depend on it, because they do. Sleep is the best form of recovery after workouts. Eating enough protein and carbohydrates post-workout, because you deplete your carbohydrates during a workout, so you need to add them back in. So having enough for recovery is good. Stretching and mobility is going to help. And probably the next biggest one is hydration, is making sure you have enough hydration in your system so your body can transfer all the protein to the right areas. Your muscles need water. They're not just protein shakes, so we've got to make sure we've got enough in our system so we can actually rebuild our body. Why am I always sore after workouts? Chances are you are progressively overloading quite well. That's probably a good sign. Your muscles are adapting and growing, which is a really good thing. So congratulations, you're alive and you're lifting progressively, which is really, really good. You might not be warming up or cooling down properly, which is what a lot of people do, hence why they do get sore and struggle. You might be doing too much too soon. For example, if you're a newbie and you've never been to the gym before and you want to do 6 days a week, well, that's going to be a recipe for disaster because you won't be used to it. They're probably the main things I would be saying that would be the reason why you're sore after workouts. Again, not having enough fuel in your system for your body to repair itself, and sleep. Definitely sleep plays a big role if you're not getting enough sleep as well. How much sleep do I really need? The documents out there say that 7 to 9 hours is ideal for your brain and your muscles to recover. 7 to 9 is ideal. 6.5 to 7 kind of can be okay, but anything less than 6, your body starts getting cravings for it. You get a bit angry and cranky. you have really poor recovery, so you can't get up and do the same thing the next day. Sleep debt is one of the hardest debts to repay because you can't just have 14 hours on a Saturday and 14 hours on a Sunday to make up for the lack of sleep during the week. So quality sleep matters more than anything. So if you can go to bed consistently at the same time-ish every night and wake up same time-ish every night, make sure you're fully hydrated during the day, make sure that you don't have any distractions before you go to bed. That kind of can be good tactics for you to be able to get a decent night's sleep. How do I fix bad posture? I think bad posture comes from what you do during the day. For example, sitting at your desk, if you're a desk sitter and you're hunched over all day, that can be a bit of an issue. We're all phone magnets now, and we all hunch over looking at our phones for hours upon hours each day. That can be an issue. Being mindful of your posture is a good thing to think about. I know when I'm sitting in the car, I do have my seat up right. I probably look like the old man driver, but it's making my posture upright. I know when I have my desk chair up and I'm sitting at the desk, I have it at a good height for my posture, so I can make sure that I'm not hunched over. Having a good, strong back, core, and shoulders does definitely help with posture. It brings you back. When you start building a decent chest and shoulders, you'll feel your posture coming back because your muscles are starting to overstretch, which is quite good. Getting up every hour and moving is quite good for your posture. Stretching, like a 5-minute stretch every hour would be a great thing for you to do every single day if you're at the desk bound. But I think what most people have got to understand, it's like you got to feel like somebody's pulling your shoulders up with a string. If you can manage that as your posture, chances are you're doing a pretty good job for yourself. You got to remember your head weighs like 20 odd kilos, and if your posture is pretty shit and your head weighs down, it's going to put a lot of strain on your neck and your shoulders. So be mindful of that if you can. How do I stay consistent when I don't feel motivated? Man, motivation is never around when you have no discipline in life. It's unreliable. The best thing that you can do is build some sustainable, healthy habits to outwit motivation. Motivation is never there unless we have discipline. Discipline creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. We only have a motivation boner when we have discipline in our lives. If we don't have discipline, the boner is flaccid and it's not up. So how to do that: set small, easily achievable goals to keep momentum and celebrate those goals, those little goals when you go through them. Track your progress. Viable results equals more motivation. So the more results you get, the more little goals that you win, the more motivated you are to do the next task. And just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think that's probably been oversaid for years and years and years in terms of fat loss. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we've got to understand that future you will thank you for the little goals that you're currently doing each and every day. Which segues into a great question. What's the best way to build discipline? Routine and habits will build willpower every time. So discipline comes from routine and habits. So if you can get yourself some decent habits and a really good routine to stick to every single day, chances are that you will have really good discipline in your life. Keep a no excuses mentality. Show up even on the bad days. If you promise yourself you're going to do something, do it. There's nothing worse than lying to yourself, in my opinion. And reward your progress. Small wins add up. As I said that before, no one celebrates the small wins. They're waiting for the big one to happen. If you celebrate the small wins along the way, chances are the big ones will be even more worth it. How do I stop making excuses to skip workouts? Again, you get to train. You don't have to train. You get to train. There are people out there that, for whatever reason, do not get to train. So skipping workouts, you have to make them a non-negotiable. Why do I not skip workouts? Why do I train? Because it's awesome for my mental health, and my mental health suffers if I don't do it. So how do I make discipline in my life to make sure that I do not skip workouts? Like I said before, plan your workouts like they are an important meeting, a dentist appointment or something like that. I guess we all don't want to go to the dentist, but plan them, put them in your diary, block out the time. Time blockers are great for that. for that reason. Set alarms, reminders, have an accountability partner. If you train with someone, chances are you won't let them down if they turn up. I know I train with my wife in the morning and she's always like frustrated because I'm the last one out of bed. So that's kind of good for me that I have an accountability partner there. Find a no matter what rule. So even 10 minutes is better than nothing, right? So if you are short on time and you can't do your 45-minute workout, doing a 10-minute walk or a 20-minute walk is just as beneficial because you are telling yourself that you're doing that thing. A 10-minute HIIT session is better than not doing anything at all. Excuses don't burn calories. Movement does. That's how you stop making excuses to skip workouts. How do I make fitness fun? Gamify it, track your progress, set targets, compete in challenges. Look for things to do that have goals in sight, like run a triathlon or do a marathon or lifting a certain weight. That they're really good ways to make fitness fun. Try new workouts. Do something you've never done before or you've always wanted to do, like boxing or mountain climbing or dancing, anything like that. Whatever excites you generally will make it fun. Having a good playlist is always good, or an audiobook or a podcast that will distract you if you're going through a bit of pain. And nothing's better than having a community or a workout buddy that you can train with. I think I was talking to my wife about it the other day. It's one of our favorite parts of our day is training in the morning, and we'll look at each other at CrossFit across the gym, and both of us are sweating our proverbials off and almost vomiting. But you give each other a quick wink, and you realize you're doing it for the right reason. So, yeah, if you want to make it fun, do things that you enjoy doing, and chances are you'll keep going back for more. What's the best mindset for long-term success? You got to focus on progress and not perfection. Perfection should not be a word in the dictionary because it is unachievable. Progress is achievable, okay? So focusing on progress, not perfection. Make fitness a lifelong habit rather than a temporary thing to get to a goal. People associate training with fat loss or muscle building, whereas I want people to have the lifelong habit of training for life, for carrying shopping bags in, for the later years when you have grandkids so you can bend over and pick them up without blowing your hamstring out. Like that's more important for me. Fitness is a lifelong habit, not a temporary fix. It's going to get me through the later years in life. Accept that bad days happen. There's always someone around the corner to fuck your day up. So accept that will happen. So don't quit. Don't quit on those days. It's going to get hard. You're going to fuck up. So just don't quit. And celebrate the small wins again. Every small step forward matters. You don't have to worry about the big, long ones. The small steps get you to the goal quicker. How do I stop caring about what people think at the gym? Okay, this is a tough one because it depends on what experience you've had in the gym previously, what experiences in life you had previously, how you hold yourself in what regard, i.e. if you do not like the way you look, chances are you won't like the way you look when you first start out in the gym, which can be very difficult. Getting over the fact that nobody's watching you is very, very hard when there's, some really decent bodies in there that have been working their ass off for 20 years to keep that body, and they're looking at you or they're looking at themselves in the mirror. It can be quite intimidating, but they're too busy worrying about themselves or making sure they get their lift right. That's one thing we've got to make sure we have in our head. Confidence comes from doing, not overthinking. So getting your ass in there and actually doing it, you'll probably find most of the looks you're getting from people that have been there is in their head, they're going, look at this person kicking ass. Like, I know that's what I do when someone's starting in the gym. I'm actually really proud when I see new people starting because, they're doing something for themselves finally. And the only dumb workout is the one you don't do, right? So get in there. Like I said before, consistency trumps perfection. Consistency trumps perfection every single day. If anyone does judge you, that's their problem. You're there to improve yourself, not to impress. And it can be hard. If you do get some form of intimidation at the gym, I would change times that I go to. If that's not necessary or available to you, then I would change gyms and find somewhere you feel comfortable. Whenever I have a new client that comes on board under my banner, the first thing I say to them is, do you have a gym that you train at? If they say no, I say pick 3 or 4 in your local area. Go to each one at the time that you're thinking about going. Have a look and have a feel for the type of clientele that's going to be there, and pick the one that you feel the most comfortable at, and obviously fits in within your budget. That can help some of the intimidation as well. And also having someone that you can train with that you've never trained before will definitely help, because chances are they'll know what's going on or everything that's there, and then you'll be able to follow them, or they'll be able to teach you. Grab a PT if you can, but also have a program. If you have a program that irons out what you got to do at the gym, chances are when you get, you won't be so intimidated by all the machines and all the people. So, yeah, cool. All right. I hope that answers some of your questions for today. Vicky, here's a fun one. With all the water and good food, I often have diarrhea, like my body is purging. Is that normal? It can be if you're going from highly processed foods to whole foods. It definitely can be something that does happen. I'm not sure about the water thing though, and it kind of could be an irritable thing, or you might be allergic to a type of food. So I would get tested first to see if it's maybe dairy or something like that that's making it happen. But yeah, it definitely can happen. Hey Jess, it definitely can happen when you do change over from highly processed foods to whole foods. It's happened to a lot of people. But I would be looking at, is it your protein powder? Maybe you need to change protein powders to a pea protein or something like that. That's what I would do. But yeah, it's got to come down to the type of food, or maybe just the lack of a few things in your diet. So I would check them out first. All right. Again, to the team in the groups, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at a screen of the spinning wheel of death again. It's just been happening for the last 30 minutes. It wouldn't go live in the group. Jesse, other than calorie deficit, is there any benefit to longer fasts? Look, there is huge benefits. There's huge benefits to fasting that, hey Steph, that definitely can help reset the gut. Am I a big fan of them? Not really. I'm more of a fan of having the right amount of food and energy in your body that you need, or fuel that your body needs every single day. Fasting is a really good tool to help you get your calories in a shorter period of time, so you do not overeat. That's what I use fasting for. But the longer fast, I mean, back in the caveman days, men and women used to go for longer periods of time without food, and used their body fat as energy. So there's a little bit of a benefit in terms of a longer fast, but I'm not comfortable in getting my people to do anything longer than a sort of 12 to 13, 14-hour fast every single day. I think that it's more important to have the right amount of fuel in that you need each and every single day, with a little bit of a deficit to burn body fat off. But also, you still need energy to function every single day. So for me, it's more important to have the right amount of fuel in your system that you need for each day. Then that way you're not putting on weight, but you're also burning the right amount off. Hopefully that answers your question. Cool. Any other questions, send me a DM. I'll answer them, or I'll pop them in next week's Q&A. But apart